I have known for a long time that my mother did not like me. It wasn't just the way she ignored me. It wasn't just the dismissive way she looked at me whenever I tried to get close to her. It was the way her eyes hardened when I entered the room. The way she never acknowledged me unless she had to. The way she let my siblings eat from her hand, but I had to fend for myself. At first, I tried to explain it away. Maybe I was too difficult or too stubborn. Maybe I wasn't just trying hard enough to win her affection. I tried to ignore it for years. I told myself I was imagining things. But a child knows when she is unwanted. Deep down, I knew I would never be enough. Mama always adored Chuka, my older brother. Smart, confident and driven. He was everything she wanted in a son. Chuka will be the one to take care of us, she would say, her voice filled with pride. And then there was Ifunanya, my sister. Beautiful, graceful, and always willing to make Mama laugh. She was everything a daughter should be. Always by Mama's side, laughing with her, never questioning her. And then there was me, Adaeze, the child who seemed to be a constant reminder of something she couldn't let go. When I turned 17, a letter arrived. It was from a university in the United Kingdom. I had been awarded a full scholarship to study business management. For once, something good was happening to me. I had worked hard for this, stayed up late, sacrificed so many nights, and now I had a chance to leave everything behind. But the joy I felt quickly turned to dread when I saw my mother's reaction. "You are going?" she asked, her voice icy. "Yes, Mama," I replied, trying to sound confident. What will you go and do there? Leave your siblings to suffer alone?" Her words hit like a slap in the face. But it wasn't just her words, it was her attitude, the bitterness in her voice, as if my success was a betrayal. "I have worked hard for this, Mama," I said, struggling to keep my voice steady. "I have earned this chance." "And what about us, Are you just going to abandon us like that? What kind of a child are you?" I could feel the anger bubbling inside me, the constant accusations, the blame. It was exhausting. But then, just as I started to speak, a thought flashed through my head. Is this really the time to leave? Is this time really right? The days that followed were just there. I went to bed each night, tossing and turning, wrestling with my thoughts. My scholarship was a dream come true, but every time I thought of leaving, something inside me stopped me. It wasn't just guilt, it was something deeper. I had always felt like I owed her something, like I needed to make up for the mistakes she saw in me. If I left, what would that do to her? Would she hate me forever? Would I regret it? Then came the worst night. I came home to find Mama in an argument with Ifunanya, yelling at her about some tiny detail. There was tension in the air. I stood by the door, watching, listening. Mama had raised her voice so high, it was almost like she was trying to break Ifunanya's spirit. But she never yelled at Chuka. No! He was always the good child, the golden child. Mama shouted at Ifunanya, "Look at the way you've turned out, and you still want to make me proud?" Ha! Tears welled up in Ifunanya's eyes, but she did not speak. She just stood there shaking as Mama went on and on and on. And I, standing quietly in the doorway, could feel the heat of it all. The anger, the pain, the frustration. It was always like this. But tonight, something inside me snapped. I turned away, retreating to my room, and I slammed the door behind me. My heart was beating fast, and I had to get out as quickly as possible. And then I made the decision to call the school. I packed my bags and I left. But just then, I got a call from the hospital. It was about Mama. She had collapsed at home. The news hit me like a ton of bricks, so hard. I rushed to the hospital. My legs were shaking. Oh God, why now? When I arrived, Chuka was sitting outside the emergency room. His face was pale. Ifunanya was beside him. Her face was streaked with tears. How is she? I asked, almost choking on my words. Chuka shook his head. They say it's serious, Adaeze. She needs surgery, but it's expensive. If we don't act fast, we might lose her. She might not make it. I stood frozen, the weight of the situation crashing down on me. The scholarship, my future, all of them seemed so insignificant at the moment. But I knew the choice I had to make. If I did not step up, Mama might die. And if I stayed, I might never get another chance at freedom. The decision was suffocating. I can't afford this, Chuka said. If Unaya doesn't have the money either, no one does. My mind was spinning. I remembered the savings I had set aside for my university trip. It was more than enough for the surgery. But at what cost? I could save my mother's life, but I would lose my future. I would be trapped in this house, caught in the same endless cycle of anger and neglect. I felt a deep, unsettling pain in my chest. What if I saved her, and she still didn't love me? What if this was all for nothing? But then, another thought hit me. What if I don't save her? That guilt would eat me alive. I made the decision that changed everything. I withdrew the money I had saved for school and paid for the surgery. I called the hospital and arranged everything. The surgery was long and I stayed by her side the whole time. When Mama woke up, her eyes were blurry. She looked at me, confusion and fear written on her face. After she had been told everything, she turned to me and asked, Why? Why did you do it? She whispered. I held her hand. My heart was aching. Because you are my mother. For a moment, it seemed like she wanted to say something, but then her eyes closed again. I stayed by her side, not sure of whether I made the right or wrong decision. 2 weeks after the surgery, and Mama finally spoke to me. We were sitting together in the living room. She looked at me with soft eyes. The anger in her face was gone. Adaeze, she began, I owe you an apology. I looked at her, unsure of what to say. I never told you the truth. The reason I was so hard on you, it wasn't your fault. I sat up straight. This was the moment I had waited my entire life for. Mama closed her eyes. When I was young, I loved a man who promised me everything. And I gave him everything, my money, my heart, my dreams. And when I was pregnant with you, he left me taking everything I had. I could feel my heart drop. And then, when my mother came to help after your birth, she had a road accident and died instantly. She died. My mother died. I lost everything in one go. And when you were born, you looked so much like him. Every time I looked at you, I saw that man who ruined my life. Tears flooded my eyes. But Mama, I didn't do anything now. I wasn't there. She nodded, her face filled with regret. From the moment you came into this world, you were a reminder of my pain. I felt like my heart was breaking, but I did not do anything. I whispered. She turned away. I know now. I saved your life, Mama. Not because you love me, but because I love you. And I walked away. That was the last thing I said to her. If you were me, what would you have done?